It was a boring Monday night, and I was sitting by the counter watching YouTube videos when I heard a car pull into the drive-thru. I quickly put my phone aside and waited for the customer to drive up. As soon as the car approached the window, I said in a fake, joyful voice,
"Welcome to Burger King. May I take your order?"
"Yeah, we're hungry." I saw a man wearing a vibrant colored Hawaiian t-shirt sitting in the driver's seat. He had a disturbing stare, but that's not the only thing that was weird about him. He had a skeleton dressed up as a woman in his passenger seat. I couldn't decide whether it was creepy or funny, but I took the high road and let it slide.
"May I take your order, sir?"
"A Whopper for me. And what will you have, darling?" Now the situation took a creepy turn. The man kept talking to the skeleton as if it was a real woman. He was smiling and laughing and whispering into its ear, which it obviously didn't have. He went on with his insanity for another 5 minutes, and I still patiently waited because that's what was expected of me in this job. "Okay, so a Whopper for me, and she'll have a cheeseburger."
Sure, sir."
I handed him the order along with the receipt, and he paid in cash. Seeing his behavior, I could tell he thought the skeleton was a real person. He slowly drove away, and I sat by the window like a statue for at least half an hour. It took me some time to digest what just happened tonight. After that night, this man became a regular customer. Almost every other night, he came to our store dressed in the same manner with his skeleton girlfriend and ordered the same food. At some point, I too got used to it. I'm the person who loves minding her own business, so I never bothered to ask. I just did my job and he went on his way. One night it was raining heavily, and I was waiting for my shift to end so that I could go home. Suddenly, I saw the man pulling into the drive-thru. He ordered the usual and started talking to his skeleton girlfriend. Meanwhile, I found out that we were running short on cheese, so it won't be possible to make a cheeseburger for his skeleton girlfriend tonight.
Sir? I apologize, but we're running a little short on cheese. Can we substitute it with something else?
"Oh no, but Jenny loves cheese. This is her favorite."
I understand that, but as I said, we are short on cheese. The triple Whopper is the same price. How about that?
"But Jenny doesn't want that. She wants her usual cheeseburger." I was being polite to this freak the whole time, but when he screamed at me, I lost my calm.
Well, why don't you take Jenny where she belongs? Like, a graveyard?
The man widened his eyes and stared at me with an intense gaze. I expected him to be angry at this point, but surprisingly, he didn't get angry. Instead, a creepy grin appeared on his face. "Oh, I can see what's going on here. You're jealous. Jenny, she is jealous. Isn't that sweet? She's crushing on you, bae."
What the hell? Look, you freak. That is nothing but a skeleton, and no one is crushing on you. The truth is, you know you can't even get a real girlfriend. Maybe that's why you're putting on this freak show.
As soon as I said that, I saw the color of his face change. He didn't say a single word and drove away silently. A week passed by and he was nowhere to be seen. Even though I felt bad for being rude to a customer, he did get on my nerves that night. Hence, he gave me no choice. But after some time, he showed up again. This time, he didn't have the skeleton in his car. He came alone. I wanted to stay away from any kind of trouble, so I behaved professionally.
Your order, sir?
"A Whopper for me." I delivered him the food and he handed me the money. I thought, thank God it's over. But things took a turn, as he took a U-turn and he ate the entire burger like this, and then drove away. I mean, I can't explain this obscene behavior, but all I can say is, that night after going home, I took a long bath. I've never felt this disgusted ever in my life. The next day, I informed my boss about this man, because this was getting too much for me to take. He told me to call 911 immediately if I see him again. He also informed the other day shift workers about this guy. Everyone was on the lookout for him to come and get arrested by the cops for charges of harassment. But again, he didn't show up for weeks, even though everyone told me this man was just a crazy freak and that he's gone. I knew he would come again, and he didn't prove me wrong. It was around midnight. I was packing my stuff to leave early that day. I already informed my boss about this when suddenly I heard car tires creaking in the near distance. It took me a fraction of a second to recognize the car. It was him, the odd customer. I dialed 911 right away and waited for him to approach me. As soon as he stopped near the window, I noticed something different this time. A girl was sitting next to him, and by a girl, I mean an actual person. I could tell she was heavily drunk. I could smell the strong odor of alcohol coming from her clothes. She was completely passed out in the passenger seat, and a terrifying feeling grabbed my heart. I knew this man must have lured her into his trap, because there's no way a sensible person would ever agree to hang out with this freak. He gave me a death-cold stare and smiled in the scariest way possible. "That's my girlfriend, and she is real. I can prove that to you." Before I could act on this manner, he took out a wrench from the car's glove compartment and stared at me one last time. "See for yourself. Here we go." He then started to bludgeon the girl ruthlessly. "She's real! She's real! She's real!" He kept screaming like a psycho while smashing her face with the wrench. Her body started to tremble like roadkill, but due to her stage of intoxication, she couldn't get the chance to scream once. I froze at the window. I couldn't believe what was happening in front of my eyes. The man kept beating her, even after her brains came out, gushing with blood splattering everywhere. "I told you she's real! Now do you believe me? Do you? You hoe!" I heard the sirens of the cop cars nearby, but I couldn't bear the sight anymore. I collapsed on the ground, screaming out loud. 2 days later, I woke up in the hospital. My boss came to see me. He told me that the cops caught the man red-handed. There's no question he's guilty of first-degree murder. The girl he murdered that night went to the local pub. He probably picked her up once she passed out and brought her to the drive-thru. The cops are making sure that this psycho gets what he deserves. I don't think I'll ever be